guys, welcome to a new vlog. I'm in Squander as per usual. We're doing a lot of different stuff to my room. So this is the area where I usually film. I just did my makeup, so that's why there's like a random tissue right there. So I never really had access to this bookshelf because my record player was there. And now it's like, do I even want a freaking record player? Because I switched from Crosley to this nice audio tech now, but I honestly think it's too fancy for me because you have to plug that in, you have to plug these speakers in, and they're not in sync. So if I turn this on, I'm not 100% of these are on because it's just a switch and I can never tell what's on or off, or this I can't tell what's on and off, and it's just a very freaking confusing time. So I think this kind of record player you just need a lot of room for, and we can zoom out over here. My room is very small. I really wish that I hadn't moved in here, but at the time, just for safety and all of that, this was the best option. I'm not going to go into that, so please don't like message me asking like why I had to move rooms. I don't want to talk about it. So this was just the best room at the time for me to live in, and as you can see, there are two doors, two closet doors. Sorry if you hear Delilah, she's inside because it's hot. Two windows that are in an awkward corner, and then where the internet comes into the house. So therefore there is not a lot of wall space for furniture. I have a full-size bed, and then I have to have a bookshelf, and I can't get rid of the computer because that is the Wi-Fi. And yeah, so there's not a lot of space I can deal with. And here, I'm gonna shut the door so you don't hear the dogs. And this, I have a lot of stuff that I'm giving away over here that I just need to get sorted because, again, I don't have a car, and people will be like, you need to grow the F up and get a driver's license. Screw you, for one. I can do what I want, and I can complain if I want. This is my vlog. As you can tell, I chose violence today. So I haven't had, my dad hasn't taken stuff to Goodwill in a while, and I have no mode of transportation to take boxes and boxes of stuff to Goodwill, so I have to wait until he takes stuff. So I cut my hair too. That's just my mental state. No, I actually am fine, but so I have stuff that I need to give away that's all just down there. But basically, so I didn't really have a lot of access to this bookshelf, and so I thought my record player was just clunky and taking up a lot of room, so I moved it right there, which I think it will be fine once I pick up this stuff and get it donated. Then we have the desk. This computer doesn't work, and again, my dad has been telling me for over a year now that he will get me a new computer. It hasn't happened. He's bought himself an iPad and stuff in that time. And my PlayStation is down there as well. My PlayStation also does not work. So, and those are expensive things to buy, which I think if I bought a very nice computer, then I wouldn't need the PlayStation because I could just game on my computer. But this is all this junk I found under this desk. So I was like, this chair is huge and takes up a lot of room. So I was like, if I move my desk to be facing the windows and have it angled, that will give the chair room. And no, it absolutely did not. It was awful. So I have basically pushed this closer to the bookshelf and my chair. I can get into this. I can climb into that. It's necessarily not comfortable to do all that. It's like I'm a race car driver climbing in the window of the race car, but you got to do what you got to do. And again, I have not used this desk in over a year. So it's just like, it's because other people, and y'all are probably like, why can't you just go buy a computer? I could, but I wouldn't know how to set it up. So yeah, and again, it's like, if he's offering to pay for that because we all need a computer, I'm not gonna pay for it. So yeah, those are the issues in my life at the moment. And then I got a memory foam mattress topper today and put that on my bed because I want to be more comfortable because my mattress is over 40 years old. Again, I live in Squander, so I don't even know if that's the right word. But it's chaotic out here. I don't know where, okay, So here's my weekly TBR finally. I see I just have trash everywhere because I didn't clean my nightstand. That is not a nightstand because I do not have room for a nightstand. I have a bar stool. So the first book on my TBR this week, which is my to be read list, is Eve's Hollywood by Eve Babbitt. This is a essay collection memoir that is all about Eve Babbitt's life in mid-century Los Angeles. And then my TBR pick, so this is the book that I will be reviewing, and hair on my lip, is In the Beginning Was the Sea by Tomas Gonzalez. I think it was translated by Frank Wynn. This is set in Colombia, like in an island off of the Caribbean coast, and these two like intellectuals, they decide to leave the city and go live off the grid on one of these islands, and things take a turn of, is this the life that they really wanted to live? And then, sorry, I have, again, stuff just everywhere. My mood to read pick right now is Gillette. There is a place like out near Lake Norman. I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with that. There's a road called this, and there's a lot of places, and I knew how to say it when I was up there, but I don't remember now. I think it's Gillette though. So this is about this man who is a Reverend John Ames, who he became a father later in life, like in his 60s. So he realizes that he will not be there when his son is an adult. So this whole book is letters that he is writing to his son, so that his son has when he is an adult, when his father passes. And it's set in 1956. And my ebook is An Echo in the Bone by Diana Gabaldon. This is the 7th book in the Outlander series, and it is following the early days of the American Revolution. We're in 1776 with some time travel elements. So I'm sorry if I kind of started this on a negative note. That's just been my day so far, and when I did my tarot reading, it was like exactly how my day had been going, and I'm like, that is so true. But yeah, I just like to stay real with y'all and show my life, and I just I've talked about before that my vlog is kind of my diary, because I do like to go back and watch old vlogs to see what I was doing like 5 years ago on that day and all of that. I think it's fun, and just to see how I've grown as a person and all of that. So I do give my frustrations and I vent, but as I said, this is my diary in a sense, and yeah, you have to show it all. You have to show the good, the bad, the ugly, the great, the wonderful, and all of that. So overall, I've still had a pretty good day. I was just kind of frustrated with moving this desk, and it didn't go necessarily as I thought it would. And then I was just like, why do I even have to have all this? Why do I have to have a broken computer in my room when I could put a bookshelf right there? But apparently internet can only come into your house in one spot. Is that true? My tech people, is that true? Can I move my router and everything to another room, or does it have to come? Because I know like there's where an old landline used to be right there for the phones, and we got this house when cell phones were a thing, so the landline is not used. So is internet like a landline and can only come in certain spots? I do not know. So if y'all know, I know nobody's probably going to comment, but just by chance that somebody's watching and does know that, let me know, because I would love to not have all that junk in my room and put a bookshelf. That would be fantastic. Let's film in the front yard. I didn't realize how bright it would actually be, and y'all, like if I was looking right at the sun, I'd be blinded. I didn't really think this through because I have nothing. The sun should be in front of you and it's to my side. So yeah, but I got to 38% in the beginning was the Sea by Tomas Gonzalez. So I wanted to give you all my updates for the first day of reading. So literally the book title gets mentioned and a poem that is right before the book, which is a poem by Kogi Cosmology. So there's that. And then our next one is another general tab. So this is like, if I had an atmosphere tab, it would be under atmosphere, and this is reading like a horror. There's an ominous feeling, and I realized that Mystic Island gave me the same one. So I'm like, what is the Caribbean islands being like ominous to me? I don't know why that is. Like, it always feels like a horror, and that's what I said, that this is reading like a horror. Like, I am very intrigued. I'm like, what is going to happen here. And then I have a writing tab, which also plays into the atmosphere, that the atmosphere is definitely the main factor in this book. You can tell by the descriptive writing. When I say descriptive, I mean like describing the scene of the location and everything, of the setting. So it's definitely a atmospheric read. And then they are, in the next chapter, they are talking about kind of basically the decorations of the room that they're in, and it's and there's an oil painting of a woman offering herself to the sea. So I'm like, is that foreshadowing? Because I mean, off the title, is it? Who knows? And then I have a character tab that is Elena going to be a one-note character. We definitely get more. This is told in third person. We definitely get more of Jay. So Jay and Elena are the couple who are the main characters. So we definitely, Elena seeming more, definitely we're seeing her in one sort of way, and I will talk about that more in a little bit. And then I like this paragraph. I'm just going to read part of it because I think the last 2 sentences are kind of spoilery. So, even so, the cemetery did not seem sinister. Being so close to the sea, it was frequently flooded during high tides, which left trails of foam. The joyous way in which vegetation crept over the crosses and the tombstones and pushed through cracks in the concrete. The sight of crabs appearing suddenly from the sandy tunnels dug into the graves, and iridescent lizards basking in the sun, seemed to Jay to represent the enduring triumph of life over death. I just thought that was beautifully written, and that had me thinking when we went to Southport, North Carolina. Ooh, did I vlog that? I don't know if I vlogged that I went to an old graveyard that was extremely old, and I'm like, during hurricanes all this stuff goes underwater, all these graves go underwater. Like, I never really thought of that. So, and living in a coastal area, it's like, why have I never thought of that before? Okay, 2 more tabs. We have a plot one, which that's a theory tab, so I'm not going to say that because spoilers. And then we have our last tab that is a character tab. That is, the author has made it clear who you're supposed to root for, that being Jay. As we are getting more of Jay's story, and with Elena, it's just like, when we have Elena, she's very much, seems like she doesn't want to be there, and kind of stuck up, I guess, that she's not really liking this island life, and that she's just kind of, feels like she's only this roll in her eyes. It doesn't say that, but I'm just saying, oh, this cat, dude, you're going to roll off the steps. I don't know if y'all can see him or not. Yeah, y'all can. But that's just the way that Elena is pretty much described, and as I said, I don't know if that's going to be intentional or not, but don't be messing with my skirt. But I'm 38% in. This is given like a 2.75 read. It's good, but I mean, it's not really doing a ton for me. I mean, a short book like this is only just good to like a palate cleanser. I think short books are, and ones that especially aren't dense or anything. So I'm gonna go have dinner. I feel a lot better. I was kind of like in a ranting mood earlier. I had some lunch, I had some sweet tea, I had caffeine, so I think that really helped a lot. And the weather today is so nice, guys. Like, what is the temperature? There's a nice breeze and everything. It is 76 degrees, so that is absolutely perfect weather. And stop playing with my skirt. My cat keeps doing his paw in my skirt. So yes, I'm gonna go eat dinner. I think I'm gonna have chicken noodle soup, which I have literally every other day, but that is just what I've been really into lately, and I will see y'all later. Today is Tuesday. Yeah, I am so sleepy. I had a very nice spaghetti meal, so I do have sauce in my teeth, but it was so good. And I'm about to get, that was for lunch, and now I'm gonna have seconds for dinner. And I went to Chibo's, which is one of my favorite restaurants. It was so good, but food coma. Yeah, I am so tired, but I do have some caffeine. I'm gonna have caffeine with my meal, so that'll be nice. But I did want to update y'all on, in the beginning was to see, I got to like over 80% today. I definitely could have finished it, and if I wasn't so tired, I probably would have, but I was like, once I finish it, I'm gonna have to write a book review, and honestly, I don't think my mind is working good enough to write a book review right now. So let's see, I didn't add a lot of tabs today, 4 tabs, so that's probably like half of what I did yesterday. So on page 83, which was chapter 19. I said, I felt this, we had like, it changed for one chapter to a different character that we hadn't been following the whole story, and I thought that was very weird. Like, I thought it was at Jay's perspective at first, but then I was like, wait, I don't think it actually is. But the whole time today, I felt like I was reading about, what I was reading was a descent into madness. I don't know if that's actually what it's going to be, but that has been what it feels like. So I don't know if it's actually going there or not. But also the vibes today have overall been a lot more of a contemporary literary book, rather than how yesterday it was giving me like very much horror vibes. Today it did go more into like what it actually is, like a literary fiction. Then there was one scene, they hired this like lumber company to come cut down trees, and it's like a chainsaw gnawed and gnawed, and like it was talking about the noise of a chainsaw. And I was reading this outside, and like 2 houses down from me, they had like landscapers there cutting bushes and all, and I was like, I am literally hearing the noise that is happening in the book while I read it. And I just wanted to make note of that because it was pretty cool. And then, and that was on page 89, which was chapter 21. So my last tab is chapter 29 on page 118. And basically, it's taken a lot of money to live this lifestyle that they're wanting to live, even though it's not your, they're the couple of cardinals, the male and the female, cute. I love them. Cardinals are only not when I'm reading. They're like my favorite bird, and it's a very spiritual thing. Yeah, and like Cherokee culture, and if you don't know, I do have Cherokee DNA. I did not know that until I took a DNA test, but yeah. Okay, so back to this. It's taking a lot of money to live this lifestyle, and you would think, okay, living on like a tropical island wherever, but like that is pretty much a third world country, like the island, I'm not saying Colombia is, and you would think that wouldn't be that expensive, but it's like they have to fix the house that they're living in. They are trying to open a business and all that, so it's like all of that's adding up. And I'm like, what if this book is like an anti-capitalist book, and that it's just better to just go out in the sea and live amongst nature? I don't know if it's actually trying to say that, but I was kind of getting that vibe in the chapters I read in the sitting that I just did. So we will be finishing this on schedule tomorrow. I did read, the past 2 days I've read over what I intended to read, but that's a-okay. Like, it's better to read more than to read less, in my opinion. So I'm going to go have some more spaghetti. I am going to get a Coke. That'll be very nice. I watched the Florida Project last night. I gave it a 4-star. The vibes, like, it takes place in Kissimmee, Florida, but like if you live in a state that is like predominantly tourism, it's like, yeah, it's spot on. But I just, y'all know I love to read things where there's children characters, and in this movie the main characters are children, and I loved it so much. I love the mischief of being a child, and I'm like, I wish I could be doing that. Like, just, it was fun to watch, seeing their adventures and all of that. I didn't cry. I know the last scene made a lot of people emotional, which, yeah, it was emotional, but I didn't cry. But yes, I give that movie a 4. I really enjoyed it and would recommend it. That's what I've been doing now. The hockey season's over. I am basically on summer break. I have no times that I have to get to stuff. I'm in no rush. So on the weekends, I'm going to be watching movies, and on weekdays, I will watch BookTube after I finish everything that I need to do in a day, if I finish it by a good time, which is usually around 10:30 for me. Yes, so just random tangent. I am now over halfway into July now. Again, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Hopefully I am, but at the end of the day, y'all can see it. Hopefully, if you can't, it's spelled Gilead. And I wanted to give you all my thoughts since I hit the halfway point. So for characters, so this whole book is told through letters that this father is writing to his son. And I only think letters are so personal, and I've never had issue connecting with a character or whatever because the story is told in a letter format. I haven't read that many. I've only read about a handful, but as I just said, they are so personal, and you can just tell how much this man loves his son by going all through this. And yeah, I never read about fatherhood that much, so I love to see it. And I think the character work here is great. Atmosphere. So atmosphere, also with a letter format, it can be very hard to have an atmosphere going on, but this one I think is doing a fantastic job with that. Probably the best out of all the books that I've read that are in the letter format. It's so American. This just feels like a classic, even though it was published only 20 years ago. I don't know why it feels like a classic. It just does. It has a classic American feel to it. So it takes place in the Midwest, and to me the Midwest is like America. Why is Penny barking? She sounds far away. And then the writing is really my only real issue here. It's just, I don't know, I have a hard time following it at times, I guess. It's just because, I mean, y'all can just see all those like breaks of story. I think that can be just kind of hard to follow. And I don't know if I should say this under writing or plot, but you know, plot's the next one, is that my mind wanders a lot when I'm reading it, so I'm not really gripped, I guess. But this book, plot-wise, again, it's hard to say it's a plot that is just a father writing to his son. But there's so much wisdom in these pages, and this one will be great to annotate one day, because I do see myself keeping this book. It's probably in like the high 3-star category, so yeah, I am really enjoying it, but it's not a new favorite, and I'm not absolutely loving it. So I'll probably have that finished by the end of the week, sometime on the weekend. I don't log on weekends, but you know, be sure to follow me on Goodreads and everything if you guys would like to see my review on that book if we don't finish it in this vlog, which I don't think we will, but you know, the chance. It might happen. Never say never. Yeah, that's another thing, how this book is very big into Christianity, and a lot of these points I'm like, hey, I never thought of that before. That's super interesting. Like, the section I read today was talking about the 10 Commandments, and yeah, there was just a lot of points that I had never really thought of before, and I was raised in the Bible Belt, so you know. But I will see y'all tomorrow on Wednesday. I'm going to go get a shower, which is very much needed because it was so hot today. It didn't even get over 85, but I was so sweaty and gross. Yeah, I don't know why I'm telling y'all that. So I can't wait to get that shower. And yeah, as I said, I'll see y'all. Happy Wednesday. I know I had the kind of poop thing going on because I'm about to put my hair in rollers, but we finished a book. So it is the 22nd of May. I update that when I finish a book so I know how long it's been since I finished one. So that book was, in the beginning was the Sea by Tomas Gonzalez, translated by Frank Wynn. This is the bookmark I used because I got this book when Book Depository was still a thing, which I've since heard some recommendations for websites that are like Book Depository because I cannot find this book in the United States. This came from the UK. I don't know why I can't find it in America, who knows, but we are going to go into all of my thoughts. So the 3 words I would use to describe this book are lush, hidden, and theories. So this was a contemporary, and I gave it a 3.25. It was a 3.4 when I did Cop House, so yeah, it's not over 5, so we're not rounding up, but we're just gonna say 3.25. I read it physically. This book was first published in Spanish in 1983, and I read it from the 20th to the 22nd of May. Let's go into all of my thoughts now. This one's going to be kind of hard to review. I only think these like really average books are hard to review, but characters. We have these 2 people, Jay and Elena, who leave Medellin to move to an island off the coast of Colombia. It's not like a deserted island or anything, but it's very small, like it's a small community there, but people do have fincas. I don't really know if that, I was imagining, imagery is great. So I am picturing a big house with a lot of land because they start all these different kinds of businesses that involve like outdoorsy stuff. So we had those two characters that are like intellectuals, but they want to get away from city life and go and live off the land, so they go to that island. Now, these characters, Jay is definitely the more developed of the characters. He's the one that we see the most of throughout this story, and I do think this is ultimately his story. But you would think Elena would have a bigger role. Just, I mean, she's the third name on the back of the book and the synopsis. So, and it's about a couple moving. She's not really developed, but I understand, but we can assume she is the way she is, but I don't like assuming. I like knowing for a fact, because she's having a miserable time on this island, and it's like, who wouldn't? Like, she's used to life in the city, and now she's having to live like a country life away from everything she's ever known, so we can assume why she's annoyed and everything, but we don't ever have that official confirmation. Like with Jay, we understand why we understand he is some kind of a pit because, one, money is running out, two, his girlfriend or wife or whatever, I don't know, his partner is just being standoffish and having a miserable time, so therefore that makes him miserable. So it's a lot more, we understand him a lot more of a character. So yes, we have a lot of assumptions, but I do think I gave the characters a 3-star. I do think they are kind of flat, and there is just a lot left for interpretation. Atmosphere I gave a 4. It was great. This book is, as I said, very lush. The imagery is amazing. I had a very easy time picturing the island and just the life that these people were living. And definitely, if you like the book Mustique Island for its setting, pick up this, because very similar settings. And then if we go into the overall vibes, how there was this mysterious, ominous feeling throughout. I don't know why I felt that way, but you can very much feel the vibe, feel the mystery and ominous feelings coming off of the page. And then writing, I gave a 4. I do think the writing style, as I said, it was very atmospheric. There was no problem with translation. It went by really fast. And then plot, I'm giving a 3 because we have the basic plot that is this couple leaving their city life behind to go live on an island to live off the land. Very basic. So I think there are a lot of hidden themes here. I don't know if these theories are correct, because there's the anti-capitalist theory, which I don't even know if Colombia would be a capitalist country, especially 40 years ago, and this takes place before that, so like 50 years ago, I don't know, but like leaving the stresses of city life and all behind, and can you really leave that behind in our society? And is it better just to go live off the land like humans were intended to do so? That's a theme. And then the theme that the man needs a woman. He needs a woman around, or everything's gonna go to SHIT. That's just a fun one. And yeah, so I think those are the two main themes, but really the woman one's kind of a joke. And then intrigue, yeah, I gave the intrigue a 4. It was great. I was really groped to know what would happen and was making theories all throughout. My reading experience and logic 4. Yeah, everything made sense of why the characters would feel the way that they did, why the events that happened. And then my overall enjoyment, this book didn't do a ton for me, so 2. Yeah, but as I said, I give this like a 3.25. So if this book does intrigue you, pick it up. It's a very quiet story overall. I don't get why, I think it's compared to Garcia Marquez because it's a Colombian book. I think that's literally the only reason I see my copy of 100 Years of Solitude right there, which is one of my favorite classics. And so I think that's really the only reason those books get compared. So the next book that I'm going to start will be at 6 o'clock. It's currently like 3:56 right now, is Symptomatic by Danzy Zena. This is another contemporary, obviously, and I'm going to be doing the ebook, so I will update y'all on that when we get to reading that. Hi, Dahlia. Oh, look, you're rolling. So, I'm a fun-loving girl who is also a snuggler. She's 3 years old. Oh, you're funny. Okay, then Milo, he's 5 months. I was found on the side of the road, and then a very nice family. Oh, you're playing. So took me in. And I am very playful and love other cats. Okay. Hi Milo. I know another kitty named Milo, my friend. She has one. Cute. Oh. Go to her. Y'all are funny. Just got back home. Also, I went to the Friday. I just got back from Petco, Target, and other stuff. So I got this book that is What Moves the Dead by T. Fisher. This is a gripping and atmospheric reimagining of Edgar Allan Poe's The Fall of the House of Usher. And the author is from North Carolina, which I knew one of her books took place there, but I didn't know she was actually from there. So, you know, fun Carolinian author. And do I need to read The Fall of the House of Usher before I read this book? Let me know. It's super short, which I wasn't expecting, but I know a lot of people love this author. I know this one isn't the one that is like a lot of people's favorites, but it's just, they have this one and another one that is like the sequel to this. So I bought the first one. And then, you know, I have to save all the plants that are at Target. So this is a peperomia. And I think this is very unique. I don't own one like it, and it was on sale. So got a plant, got a book. I got some other stuff as well, but this is the stuff that I'm going to show you on the vlog. You can check out my TikTok to see everything I got. So I will be a little late starting Symptomatic. Maybe not, since it's an ebook that I'm doing. But I want to read... Oh, the title page is like falling out. Okay, so I'm glad I'm reading the ebook. It's apparently my version is damaged. So I do want to just tell y'all what this is about. So a young woman moves to New York City for what promises to be the dream job, a prestigious fellowship writing for a respected magazine. Displaced, she feels unsure of her fit in the world. Then comes a look of recognition, a gesture of friendship from an older woman named Greta, who shares the same difficult-to-place skin color. On common ground, a tenuous alliance begins between two women in racial limbo. So too does the older woman's unnerving obsession and a collision of two lives spiraling out of control. A beautifully written novel, at once suspenseful, erotic, and tantalizing, clever, Symptomatic, is a groundbreaking contribution to the literature of racial identity. So I will be starting the ebook today, and I don't know if I'm necessarily, I want to read 9 chapters in a day, but since I am only going to be reading for an hour and a half today rather than my typical 2.5 hours in here, I don't know how far I'm going to be able to get, even though I'm only intended to read like 73 pages, I think it was. So I don't know how far I will get, but again, ebooks read pretty quick and I can multitask, like I can eat while I read, which I know some people can eat while reading physically, but I don't want to get the book dirty if I don't know if I'm going to be keeping it or not. So there is what Symptomatic is about. I just got done reading in Symptomatic for the day, so I did get a third of the way in. I read as much as I wanted to. Let's go through, y'all know, the call pal system. So characters, I don't even know what our main character's name is. I don't know if it has said her name, because when I was putting my notes in on my phone, I was like, has this said her name? So we could have a nameless narrator situation going on, which for me, I don't really care. But Greta, once she got introduced to the story, who is the older woman, which I told y'all about that earlier, that's when it really got rolling, and I am liking the character of Greta, and yeah. This is definitely a character-driven book, but we will get more into that in a little bit. Atmosphere, this is like your typical 90s, which I did not know this was set in 1992. I thought this was going to be like your millennial New York book, and it's actually in the 90s. So I'm like, who's going to die in 9/11? Because that's always the case. But so it's that setting, like 90s, 2000s New York is always nostalgic to me. I don't know why, probably because it was in all the movies when I was a kid. Like, yeah, I wasn't there, but it's nostalgic. And then the writing, this is super fast-paced and easy to read, but there are a few weird descriptions at times. This is definitely given like weird girl lit, unhinged woman. I don't know what's gonna get there. I think Greta might be our unhinged woman, don't know. So yes, plot, it's again, quiet, very character driven. And as the back of the book talked about, there's a lot of like race talks, because I feel like our main character, whatever her name is, she doesn't really care about her race. She is mixed race, but doesn't really, like, she's like, yeah, it's just is what it is. And then Greta, who is very big into race and being mixed race, she's, I don't know if she's proud of it, but she's very excited to find somebody who looks like her. I mean, obviously, I think anybody would be, but yes, it's getting, especially in the last chapter I read, getting borderline obsessive. And this is the first book I've read that has color analysis in it, which I love color analysis, not for race reasons, just because I love fashion. But I think in Greta's case, it's being like, I think Greta's somebody who likes labels, because she's like, I'm a deep pointer and all that, like she's super excited about it. And so I think that might be a case in here. So it's very much about how Greta is very like latching on to her race and her identity, when we have our younger character who's more go with the flow. And that's another thing we have to think of. Greta was in her 20s during the civil rights movement, so obviously that's when a lot of stuff was being discussed, where our other characters in her 20s in the 1990s, where I don't think it was as big as a prevalent thing. Yeah, I see, comparing the 60s and the 90s to that is very different. So yeah, this is just like a 3-star right now, not doing a ton for me, but we'll just have to see where it goes. I'm really intrigued by Greta and seeing where this obsession is going to go. But my camera's dying, so I gotta go plug it in. I'm gonna get some ice cream. It's gonna be a good Thursday. I read 107 pages in here. I read like half the book. Yeah, no chill. So I am now on chapter 24, which is page 181. Sorry, the way they had the pages in here is weirdly, the numbers are backwards. Very interesting. I don't, like, when I was thinking that, because I was like, I have to vlog today, I'm like, I don't really know what I'm going to say about the book. That goes to show that it is like in the 2 and 3-star category range. So I will go into the notes that I took today and just read those to y'all. So yeah, even with the side characters, we are getting aspects of racial identity, like Vera, the girl who used to live in the apartment that our main character is living in, of like her being a white woman dating black men. So there was like, they were saying that she was like leaving her white race behind to go to another race. Yeah. Then yeah, there's extremely weird descriptions in this book. It's Christmas lights were strung up like a whore's undergarments along Flatbush Avenue. That's one of the more clean ones, because there were more where I was just like, I don't even want to highlight that. Even there was one that was a popular quote, and I usually underline the popular quotes because I just do. And there was one where it was just, I was like, I can't do that. So then we had on page 117 a note that I made, is that this chapter made me realize that Greta sees our main character as some kind of project. Like maybe she sees the main character as herself when she was younger, and is trying to make our main character do things that Greta wished she had done when she was that age. Because as I was talking about how there's that big age difference in them, that the 90s are a lot more not as traditional as the 1960s, so there's more freedom in everything. So I don't know, and I just had the thought of, if this was a magical realism, what if our main character is a younger version of Greta? But I mean, it's not magical realism. And then just this one line that Greta said, "Come on, don't be a bore. This is New York City," that you can do, because she wanted to take a horse carriage ride, which we're against horse carriages, but in the like middle of the night. And then what is this one? Yeah, how Greta's very racist to everybody. Like even people of her own like race. And like, yeah, she called, she was talking to our main character, who, as I said, they are, or the synopsis of the book says that they are both mixed race women. She was like, it's two-faced bitches like you that give us a bad name. So just, Greta is someone who is very angry, and I think she has a lot of pent up. Should very much benefit from therapy. And then let's see what else we have here. This is a popular quote that said, "This is the strange effect of getting lost. You become aware not so much of what is absent, all that is familiar and safe, but rather of what that familiarity has been keeping at bay. A world of strange shadows and cruel laughter, of odious companions just waiting for you to come out and play, and they know you will." So that quote doesn't do anything for me really, but... And then like Greta just made a theory of what was going to happen to our main character, and so I don't want to go more into that. And this is my last note here. We had at the start of the book the main character and Andrew, who is like her, I don't know if I should say boyfriend, but there's a situationship going on, and just gonna prop my arm up here. And he's like, who are you? He's like, I don't even recognize you when I see you and all this, which that's interesting on its own. But then so my note here said, earlier we hear about how Andrew doesn't really know who our main character is and that he doesn't recognize her. This is a narrator that we don't know the name of, so do we really know this person? And then that makes me think of the Vaster Wilds by Lauren Groff, where it's like, is a name truly important? Like, that doesn't really make you who you are, but also it is something that is so important, is your name, because when people hear that word, that image is going to come into their head, and it's a lot to think about. This book is definitely thought-provoking, and the biggest theme here is obviously racial identity. And yeah, so I should finish it tomorrow on Friday, but I don't vlog on Fridays, and I might go to a indie bookstore tomorrow, which won't be in a vlog, but it might be on TikTok, which will be a YouTube short, so stay tuned for that. I'm gonna go have leftover pizza for dinner, and yeah, nothing too exciting there. Might talk to y'all, I will 100% talk to y'all later, but I might be saying goodbye. Who knows? I am here to end out the vlog, so let's just wrap things up right now. So with Symptomatic, I am at 80% of the way through. With Gillette, I am 72% into it. And Echo in the Bone, I am at 21%. And Eve's Hollywood, I am at 91%. So every day this week, I've read over 100 pages. I hauled one book, which is What Moves the Dead, and that was $14.39. And then I have finished one book this week, and that was In the Beginning Was the Sea. And obviously I intend to finish more books this week, but that will not be in a vlog. But you know, stay tuned for the next vlog. The next vlog is my favorite kind of vlog to do, which is it will be my June reset. Yes. And yeah, it just feels like summer is about as summer obviously is about to start in a few days, but oh, did I finish? No, I didn't finish the book today. Why was I thinking that? But summer, like, I feel that electricity in the air of school wrapped up this week, and it like just that energy that summer is coming, and that's super exciting to think of, like all the adventures that I will go on and all of that. Is only super fun in summer, even if it's triple digits. Here it was in the 90s today, but 94 degrees is still pretty hot. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it all the way through, leave a flower emoji in the comments below, and as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring that notification bell to be notified when all my videos go live. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.